People ask us now how we get our work, what agencies we use or what PR people we use. None of us, Instant Teamwork, have ever studied business. We're artists. We all come from arts backgrounds. And here's something you won't hear about if you do an MBA, but it's something that really worked for us. I was looking out our window, this when we lived in Fulham, and our neighbour's daughter was in their garden, and she looked a bit lonely. It was just weekend, and I had a drum in the house, and I thought I'll go and play her a song, because we have this song called Imela, which is a Nigerian song in the Igbo language, and it means thank you, basically. But I thought her name's Elena, and it has the same sound as Imela. So instead of going Imela, 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 Chuku Imela, I thought I'd go and sing it to her as Elena. So I went out, I said, hi Elena. I knew her a little bit. And I said, it's all right if I play this song. Elena, 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 Elena. And then Dawn came out and started singing the harmony. And we were really getting this thing going, because we all started dancing together. She's quite shy, but she was dancing with us over the fence. And then her dad came out, and I didn't know him very well. He's a nice guy, fairly shy. And it turns out he was the editor for The Independent on Sunday. And I said, oh, that's really weird, because I used to teach people drumming sometimes using rhythms of newspaper headlines or newspaper titles, rather than saying, here's an African rhythm, da-da-da. For some groups, they just like to do something that was closer to home. So The Independent on Sunday goes... And I said to him, I would love to come and do this with your people. He said, oh, they're far too conservative. But I do know a guy who runs a small publishing company who might be interested in this, and he might give you a bit of editorial if you're going to do a free session for him. So I know some people, some advisors say never do free work, it undervalues the work, but I actually prefer to be working than not working. So if there's a group who wants to drum, I'll go and drum with them. So I went and drummed with this little group. I remember it's quite difficult because they couldn't move the boardroom table. We were just squeezed in a corner. I thought, oh, what the hell? I'm having a good time. And I didn't hear anything more of it. And 3 months later, the phone started ringing. Hello, it's that Instant Teamwork. Yeah, hello. I've read about you in BA's In-Flight magazine. They'd written this great piece of editorial. It was a one-pager with this and they'd done this illustration of a businessman with a headband and holding shakers like that. It was a great piece, really praising us and praising the way it connected the people in that little team. So Dawn and I had been married, I think, a couple of months before, and I still had this kind of gold coat, and we were invited to this meeting with J&J, and so we drove out there, and the guy told me later, they phoned up and said, oh, Harry Potter's waiting for you downstairs, shall I send him up? We went up to this meeting, and we got on really well with this guy. We'd read up about their credo. They have this credo, and we kind of memorised some lines of it, which we got into the meeting. He said, well, you sound just what we're looking for. We're having a meeting of all our European heads in Vienna. Would you come to Vienna in the Hotel Saka? That's where we're staying, which is the best hotel in Vienna. So I said, sure, I'll go. And it went really well. It's about 20 guys individually over those 2 days. That I think all 20 came up to me a bit slyly and said, would you come to Moscow and do this? Would you come to Istanbul and do this? Would you come to Vienna? No, would you come back to Vienna? Would you come to Slovenia, Oman? It was amazing. For about 2 years, I went from different conferences. We'd priced it high at the beginning. So they were all prepared to pay well for it. Sometimes Dawn came with me, and I tell you, there was more money about in those days in the corporate world. They kind of had this competition, I think, between them, how they could show off to me and Dawn. So they'd say, we know you're only doing an hour's drumming, but we booked you in for 2 days, and we're going to take you skiing, or we're going to take you on this boat trip. Or in Moscow, they got me to go there a day early. They hired a guide to show me all around Moscow before the meeting, which was the following day. So, and then we had, I'll tell you one more. This guy called me up, Lyndon Dyson. He had this kind of company of directors. He said, will you come and do something as a warm-up? They had this gig down, where was it? It's something like the Mermaid Theatre down on the embankment. Will you come and get people singing? We don't want to drum, we want to sing. So I said, sure. And I did this South African song. And from J&J, this is why these two are connected, from J&J, we'd taught them this song, Sinjay and J&J, that we'd learned from a family in South Africa. They're outside Durban. It's called the Land of a Thousand Hills. They're actually the family that they were very, very poor. It was a very poor area, but we'd learned about them through a friend of ours in Durban, and we went to see them. And they were trying to build a house. It was really a shack. And we were trying to help them build a proper house because it was a whole family to get in. And for some reason, at that conference, for the directors, I took a photograph of that house because it was half built, and I said to them, we're going to sing this song, and it's very emotional for me because it connects me to these people. And the guy, Lyndon, he said, great, Tom. He said, will you come back and close the conference tomorrow? And when I went back the following day, they said, oh, bad news, I thought, oh, well, that's fine. It's not much of a trip. And they said, no, the bad news is we're going to have to cut it down to 20 minutes. Same money, which was $2,500. So I said, sure, I can do it in 20 minutes. And so I got paid $5,000 for those, 50 minutes, which a lawyer friend of mine said to me afterwards, that's almost as much as he got, because it turned out £100 a minute. But not only that, they put buckets on the door to collect money to pay for the roof of this house. They collected £1,500. And Lyndon, as I was leaving, he came and slipped something in my pocket. He said, make sure that house gets finished well. He had pushed £600 in cash into my pocket. So we got another 2,100. As a result, we not only built the house, we kind of funded other projects in the community. And then Linda was doing this thing in South Africa. So this is madness, right? I got flown to Johannesburg to teach people to drum. I had to hire drums, and we went out to the project together. And I said, look, you don't have to pay me. Just come and see how the project's going. If you want to build another house, do so. I'll take it on as my risk. So he came. He was very moved by the people there and the projects. He built another 2 houses. One of those houses, right, for this woman. She had a lot of kids. She used to drink a lot. She saw it as a sign from God that this house had been built for her. She stopped drinking. People in the community, because a lot of these people, they're cleaners in the white community. They live in slums, but they go out and clean in the big houses. One of her clients said, oh, she stopped drinking. We'll now pay for school uniforms for the children so the kids can go to school. So this effect went on and on. We were there, Dawn and I were there doing a course in the Drakensberg Mountains called Way of the Warrior. And we met a Maasai warrior there. I mean, it's amazing. Can you believe this? Right. So Saturday night, I'm drumming in Africa, in South Africa, right? I'm not really that good a drummer. I can keep a beat. And I have this Maasai warrior who's not allowed, culturally not allowed to dance. So he's behind the screen while the rest of us are dancing. But you know the Maasai, they jump. So we kept seeing it appear above this screen. And he said to me the other day, he said, "You've activated something in me, my kind of ancestral spirit of dance. That's never happened before." This is a Maasai warrior, right? And me, little white guy drumming. He goes back to Kenya, and I find out later that I'm already supporting a orphanage there. We got networked to it via a peace organisation. I'm looking at some of the photos of some of the things we do for them, and there's Miere, this Maasai warrior. He's also connected to it, and we were just supporting them to do their, keep them running, keep their thing running. It was nothing to do with music. But Miere says to them, Tom, yeah, let me show you some of his videos online of him drumming. So as a result, the kids go, brilliant, we're going to start making our own drums. Their culture had been wiped out. That's a political thing by the government. They said, we're going to start making our own drums. So they started copying. Can you believe this? They started copying the rhythms on our videos. Now they have their own kind of drum groups and contests, and they're all started dancing again. Now, people say to me, how did you get into BA's In-Flight magazine? We've been trying. We've hired PR companies. We've offered them things. Nobody can get into BA's In-Flight magazine. And I always say, well, I'll tell you the way we got in. It was playing a song to a little girl in the garden and singing her name in harmony. Like I say, you're not going to get told that on an MBA, but that's just one story of our business. We just keep doing what we love, and work somehow comes to us. Not all the time. Sometimes we're poor. But actually, we have so many projects going on around us, satelliting around us, like these things I'm telling you about. Even when we're poor, it sounds corny, but we're rich in spirit. We have just lovely lives.